Hi everybody, welcome back, glad you dropped in. So today we're going to do a little project, but you can make it as little or as involved as you want and make it of different fabrics, add some embellishment and go right to town. They're so cute you'll want to make a bunch for, well, not a bunch maybe, but a few for Christmas presents or for your own use, that's for sure. And it's called a simple clutch. Now, it could be used for a little clutch bag. It's 8.5 by 12, so it's a pretty good size. It could be used for a clutch bag. You might want to use it for, make it a little smaller and use it for a sunglass case, or a nice sturdy case for your rotary cutter and scissors when you're going to and from class, or just for keeping around the house. This is so simple, it's fun. And I would say the first one you make, set aside about a half an hour because you're going to be choosing fabric, cutting it out, sewing it together. And then once you get ideas and get started, it certainly doesn't take that long. So you're going to have 2 pieces of fabric, 2 pieces of cotton I started with. And of course your outside, your lining, right sides together. I have to make sure what I'm saying here. Put your right sides together. This is fusible fleece. I am going to try it with that. I haven't made one with fusible fleece yet, but I want this one a little sturdier for sort of a little handbag. You can use heavyweight stabilizer, lightweight. Depends on what you're going to be using the pouch for. So we're going to try this one with fusible fleece and see what happens. Now, all you do is a little more than 1/4 inch. I will go in at 1/2 inch around 3 sides. Just the 3 sides, leave the bottom open. Trim your corners. There's 2 corners. At this point, you might want to fold in seam width and press it, because when you turn it right side out, and you have to use your imagination because I'm not sewing this, when you turn it right side out, you're going to have, I guess it would have been better if I had sewn one up for you. You're going to have your 3 sides sewn together. This side is going to be open. So you pretend you folded it in, top stitch across that bottom side. You now have a rectangle and your purse is half done. Who could believe that? So you top stitch across here, fold it up 3.5 inches or whatever you desire, but the pattern is 3.5, so start with that and see what you think. And because these seams are sewn around the outside, you really start at any point. I start at the bottom and top stitch around these 3 sides. You fold your top over, and all you have to do is put some kind of a snap or a button or a pin or whatever, and your little clutch is ready. Now, after playing with them for a while, I started making little additions and whatnot. I found this beautiful piece of fabric that has like borders on it, and it just matches this gorgeous black and gold. So I'm going to sew that on the top and make a nice division. So that's going to be a pretty one you use around Christmas time or any time of year, but it's going to be a gift. And hope they appreciate it. And I'm sure they'll like it because it does look lovely. And I do like the fusible fleece. It's a nice weight for holding on to if that's all you want to bring and don't want to bring your big crossbody bag or shoulder bag or tote bag or whatever. This is a nice little size to put in your purse, if not to carry with you. So basically that's it. 2 pieces of fabric, the inside, right sides together, sew it around 3 sides, turn it right side out. Again, you're using your imagination. Turn it right side out, sew the one seam that's not sewn, turn both ends in and sew it across. You now have a top stitch across here, and you sew around the other 3 sides. So you have your little bag. Now, I like that, black and gold. So I tried a few other ones, I never can go with one. I always have to see what'll work so I can give you some hints or some don't do's, which is usually what happens with me. I thought this was cute for around Halloween time. It has the it's more like the sugar masks or whatever, but it's kind of cute and it's for somebody specific. I don't have a lining in here. I think I should have put one in, but for what she wanted to use it for, it didn't need it. It's not sturdy, but she wanted it flexible, so that's okay. It's going to go in her tote bag. And if you're using directional fabric or fabric with a design, keep an eye on it. For example, in the here you have your little, when you open up your top, your little face is looking at you there. So you might want to keep an eye on that. That's kind of cute idea too. So again, we just sewed across, folded it up 3.5 inches, and your seam right around, and there you go. Now I use, they call them snap button. It's just a snap to close this one. You have different options, but I thought that was a cute option, and black one, so it just blended in with the background. I made one of similar material to the black and gold because I really liked it. I thought that was nice. Again, I found that border piece. It's different than the one I'm going to use on this one, but it's all of the same fabric. So pick and choose. You don't have to buy new material. Look for what you have in your tickle trunk and work with it. Now I just used plain cream color for the inside, and I think if you wanted to, you can add pockets. We'll talk about that in a few minutes. You could add a little tab and sew it in the seam in the side if you wanted to put a D-ring for keys, or a wristlet to add a wristlet to it if you wanted that. I thought that turned out very nicely. I thought it was really pretty. The one thing I did notice, and no, that's not the one. Okay, I'll show you as we go along. But this has heavier weight stabilizer. This is not the fleece or batting. It's a stabilizer, but it's plenty heavy for what she wants it for. I'm going to use just these little snaps on the inside so they're not visible. Or you could use cut Velcro. You can buy little circular ones too. Cut Velcro and put it on, and then again it's not visible. So think about it. You don't have to make it exactly the same. Just think of what it's going to be used for and what suits you best and what you have in your closet. So we worked with cotton, and I like that. So I said, okay, let's try some canvas. So I decided to go with some canvas. I made this one a little smaller because it's for another use. You have the pattern, you have the dimensions, but you suit it for whatever you want it for. And that's a good thing. Once you have the dimensions, good haven't you, you can make any size at all. And I thought this was a cute one. Again, use just your two inside, outside, and a little bit of stabilizer. And I put the snap-on just for a little bit of color because it matches the blue on the canvas. That was easy to work with. The canvas, the cotton is super easy to work with, and the canvas was easy to work with. So canvas worked, so let's go a little further. So I thought, what about cork? And I loved working with the cork. I really, really enjoyed it. I'm certainly going to make a lot more. Matter of fact, my son was home and I made him a little cork card holder, just instead of a wallet. And because it's so lightweight, it was great for his pocket, didn't weigh him down. And I made 2 or 3 little slits so he could put several cards in. And I'm really impressed. I really enjoy working with the cork. It's very durable. It doesn't fray. It's good for the environment because it comes from the cork oak tree, and once they remove the cork bark from the tree, after about 15 years, they can repeat that every 9 years, and it's okay. It's good for the tree to do it, so it's very sustainable, and you're not doing no wastage. And it's a little more expensive, so you're certainly not wasting. But it's very lightweight and easy to work with. I really enjoyed it. Again, it's just your inside, the cotton for the lining. It's sewed up. It's just as thin as cotton, and I put a little snap on it. At the top, The pattern I'm going to give you has this design for the top. My printer wasn't working at the time, so I just made a swoop, and you can make it, you could go up at angles on the side. That's the one thing, once you have your dimensions, you can change it. You could fold it any which way you want it to sew, make any new pattern or design, because they do so quickly. It's fun to see what else you can do. The cork I really enjoy working with, and I am going to use it a lot more. So I couldn't stop there. So Marlene gave me some suede to work with, and I thought, okay, let's go with that. And I like that. Oops, I have my notes there. Of course, you have to be very careful with the cork or anything heavier not to use pins, but especially cork, don't use pins. You don't want to put holes in it. The heavier material, the pins are a little more awkward, and of course your clips are the perfect answer for that. And they hold it tightly, and especially for the cork, no pins there. You can use this, but the clips hold it better because you have quite a bit of thickness here. And make yourself a little one to put your pins in. For this one, I used the batik for the, I didn't use a lining for this. I used, interfacing or batting. I used batik for the inside, and what I did was, instead of not sewing the bottom and then doing the top stitch, I left the top open, cut the batik a little bit longer. When I took it out, I just folded a seam inside and sewed across that seam so that you have that bit of color showing, which I really like. It just adds a little bit to it. Now, this is the one I was looking for. When you go to sew heavier fabrics, you might be seeing through the colors of the inside because it's hard to get to the very edge. With the heavier fabrics, I put in a 100 needle. You might want to go the denim needle or something a little bit heavier. You might want to adjust your tension very, very slightly. Be very careful with that. And so on this one, I sewed it so you could see that you can't see the inside color at all. On this one, I left it open a bit. I kind of like the color. So it adds a little bit to it. You can see you can see this color and then a little bit on the seam. So I have to decide which one I want to finish it. I left both sides so you can decide yourself. Do you want the no seam, no show, or do you want a little bit of the color showing? But it makes a lovely little bag. Again, I think I might put a snap on that. Maybe a sturdier one, like a little metal one or whatever they are, rather than the snap closure. Those are cute for casual bags. I like the snap closure for casual. When they're a little bit dressier, it's kind of nice not to see it and have your snap inside. So we went with that. I like the bigger ones. So I thought, okay, let's go a little deeper and see what we can do now. Now Marlene gave me other pieces of suede and heavy fabrics. So I cut a little piece off. You might want to spare a little piece. It's worth it to try sewing, to get your tension. Fold it over and see, is this going to be too thick for the 2 layers? Remember, you're fine in the top part, in the flat, because you just have the 2. But when you're sewing the bottom, you have both sides of 2 sides, and that's where it gets thicker. So you have to be careful when you're thinking about that. So I thought, I haven't sewn this, I'm just thinking about it, and I thought we could think about it together. I thought I'd use the dark brown, again a batik. I like the batiks. I could do what I did before and just turn that over and have the batik showing. But then again, I've already done that. So why don't I add this, let's go this way. Sew this to the brown. Isn't that pretty? And I could sew it to the brown piece at the top and turn it over, and it's easier with a sewing machine, and have that as a little band. So your ideas are going to be endless. It's whatever you choose. I thought that was very pretty, this fabric. I've seen one, if you have lots of suede, I've seen one where they put 1/2 of the little clutch. See if I can hold this up for you. 1/2 the clutch of each color, and then do just thick, almost like a running stitch along there, using the color of the other material. And that was cute too. So there are so many ideas and so many ways to fix it and change it around. I enjoyed this. Wasn't too bad to sew, the suede. Well, not too bad for the sides and the thicknesses. I have to think about this one. I'm going to try this a bit more. I don't know if my little passport will like that thickness, but I'll test some. This was no problem. This was a charm. The cork was just a charm to sew with. The canvas was no problem, and it's good and durable. This is a good one if you want to make it for children to carry lunch money or something. Make it a little bit smaller or whatever they're carrying, but it's good and durable, and of course you can wash it. These I thought were pretty. I really like these. And again, I'm going to finish the second one. They're a nice gift. They would be nice gift to put something in if you had a gift certificate or whatever. It's nice just to get it as a gift by itself. And you can, it's what's out at Christmas time, the fabric, but it's not necessarily Christmas material, hopefully, so that can be used year round. And this was cute. Again, it was because of Halloween, but she loves Halloween and masks and whatnot, so it's going to be for year round. Now, those are the 8, well, this one isn't, but most of those were 8.5 by 12, which is the pattern size. So I thought, okay, let's go with another size. So I started one, it's, I think it's 4.5, no, it looks bigger. It's about 5 by 9. I made one 4.5 by 7. This one's about a 5 by 9. And again, I have the lining, the outside, and this is a heavy stabilizer. The smaller the purse, the less stiff you would need it, depending on what it's used for. So you're going to put your right sides together, sew around 3 sides, clip your edges, turn it right side out, and you're almost there. It's so simple that it's hard to stop. It's like eating a bag of chips. You can't have one. So you make one of these and you think, I should have done that. So you try that the next time. Now, with this one, I'm going to make it a little bit different again, of course. And I thought that was kind of pretty, the plaid. So what I'm going to do this time, I'm going to put a couple of pockets on it, which I should have done in some of the others, but from now on I will. And I measured a credit card, and they're 2 1/4 by 3.5, 3.5 long by 2 1/4. So make your pocket enough larger that you can put 2 or 3 in, because if we have to start carrying our passport vaccine proof, you might be carrying more cards than you realize. So if you're carrying your vaccine card and 2 or 3 others, so I'm going to sew the 3 sides and sew this onto the inside, because I want mine inside. I don't trust myself for not dropping it. I'm going to put my pocket on the inside, and then I have place for my cards. But if you wanted to, for convenience, or even just for style, sew around your 3 sides of your pocket and put it on the back, and then you just pull it out from the back. So there are so many things you can, don't forget, you can put your little, in the seam, you can have your, let me see, I'll have to look. I think it shows in the pattern for a little tab to put a D-ring on, or your keychain or whatever. You can add a wrist strap if you wanted to make one that was quite sturdy. And if you wanted to put a strap on for like a little shoulder bag, it's up to you. You could use the fabric that you're using as a decoration, or with the cork, you could fold the cork in half. It's easy to turn, the cork will turn easily. It's very pliable. Um, I'm going to do a little bit more on cork because I really enjoyed working with it. I made this little card holder for myself. I'm not going to bother putting a snap on because it's quicker to get into, but it would be safer with a snap. I didn't line it just to test it, so I don't know how durable it is. I'm just showing you what you can do. I have 2 slots in this particular one, and I made the second slot a little higher so that it's easy to tell between the two. Now you can get cork in so many different designs. There's the shiny one. This looks like more like a piece of wood. You can get all different colors and designs. In Spain and probably in Portugal too, I just haven't been to Portugal, there are stores that all the articles in the store that they sell are made of cork. And it's cork fabric. They, of course, put it in bats and work with it for a while. It's cork fabric. You have cork billfolds, you have keychains. I saw belts, bow ties, about a lot of purses, a lot of like handbag type purses. And I did buy one, and they're so lightweight you wouldn't believe, and they are durable. It'll get damp. If it's gets a little bit dirty, you just wipe it off with a damp cloth, or you can even put sanitizer on it so that you know you're not carrying germs from the car to the house. It has a lot of good uses. So there are different kinds of snaps. I have the little white guys. I have the steel type. I found this one, and I haven't used it yet, but I'm going to use it for this bag, or no, it's too late for this one. I'm going to use it for this bag because you install this snap before you sew it together. And it is a little magnetic one. Now, probably half of you have used it, or everybody. I just haven't used it. It's a magnetic one, and you put it within the lining. You put it between the fabrics, and if I don't have it sewn in, I don't know if it'll. But there's a lot of pull to it. So it's because it's inside. It's just going to find it, snap, and find the other piece. And there are 2 sets in this, and I think it was couple of dollars. I saw them online, and I saw them at a couple of quilt stores. I thought it was cute, and again, as I say, it's new to me. It may not be to you. And these are the little snaps that we put on, the cute ones for, and sometimes you want to put one on just to add a little something. I thought the little bit of blue gave it a little more color. So sometimes it's just for decoration. The cork, here I go again with cork, but the cork also embroiders very easily. I tried it to see. The only thing you have to be careful, it might stick a wee bit, so you might want to put Scotch tape on the underside of your sewing foot, or some people have Teflon foot for their sewing machine. But I didn't find that it pulled. I went very slowly, and I saw no problem. And that's what you could do for any of these. That's a great idea for any of these. If you want to use a plain color, make a bag of a plain color and do some embroidery work on it, or machine embroidery. Or if you wanted to, I didn't quilt any of them because the pattern didn't say to quilt it, but you certainly could quilt it, and that would really add to it too. It would give it body, and certainly people would appreciate it. So have fun. Make quite a few, and use different fabrics, use different materials, and see what happens. And I can't wait to see them. Bye for now.